have to be in the editing room like, okay, listen, I didn't know I was spilling all the tea. Melanie brings the tea out. She's like, saying, what was that? Now, who said that? Oh, you're not gonna tell me who said that? I think I know. This is Nate Smith, live and direct from Richmond, Virginia. Welcome back to the program. Today, I have the pleasure of making music with one of the most dynamic figures in the jazz scene. She engages jazz, R&B, electronic music, so many things inside her musical imagination. She sings, she plays flute, she does live looping. She's really, really cool. You're in for a treat today. Her name is Melanie Charles. What up?
How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm all right. This is a crazy place.
I know. It's nuts. Thank you for coming, making the trip.
I love Richmond. It's clean. This is not Brooklyn.
It's not. That is not.
Yeah.
Although Richmond has its own little funk, too. There's a little funk.
You gotta have a little dirt.
Okay.
It made me feel more comfortable, the funk around the hotel. I was like, yes. It's horrible.
That's it. We're used to funk.
We're used to the funk.
We're used to the funk. Solid. That's also there, and it's mic'd up.
Sounds good.
In the event that
that inspiration happens.
What are you using? What do you got?
I'm using an Akai head rush. It's a guitar pedal. They actually don't make it anymore.
Gotcha.
But it's just a delay looper. It's very, very basic, but it's just exactly what I need.
Okay.
But you know, I remember when I last saw you at the Blue Note,
Yeah.
and you were talking about how you simplified your setup.
Yeah.
So I've been embracing that concept.
Yes.
You know, so I feel like I have a little bit more room to be a little bit more musical, have a little bit more energy.
Yeah. Your imagination is going in 50 million directions all the time. So this is the kind of shit that I want to get into.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm trying to get into.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? All right.
You got me kind of hyped now. I kind of want to do something now.
I mean, we got options.
Midnight, 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 midnight. It begins to tell round midnight, round midnight. I defended well till after sundown. Supper time, I'm feeling sad, but it really gets bad round midnight. Yeah, I'm gone. Midnight. Yeah, I'm gone. Midnight. Yeah, I'm gone. Moi, changer vers minuit, vers minuit. Moi, ça me tient pas bon, moi pas bon tout bon. C'est ce qu'a fait me sourire. Parce que chérie, le parce que minuit. Once a quarrel with man is mending, doesn't mean that our love is ending. Darling, I need you. Lately I find that I'm out of my head and I'm on midnight. Yeah, yeah, gone. Midnight. Yeah, yeah, gone. Midnight. Ah, yeah, yeah, gone. Midnight. Yeah, yeah, gone. Midnight.
Come on now. You see?
Oh, see what you was trying to do now.
See what I'm saying?
Now I see the concept.
You see? That's what, yeah, you got a concept.
I see the concept. Cool
Brother got a concept. You see what I'm saying? Melanie Charles.
Hey.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming to visit me in VA. You're dope. It goes without saying. You're a dope artist. You occupy a lot of different spaces and still be yourself and show up as yourself. I want to know a lot about your first experiences with music, what music was like in the house. Where were you born?
I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, in Bushwick.
Brooklyn, New York.
Mm-hmm.
So in your house, how many musicians in your house? You have a musical...
My younger brother's an incredible alto saxophone player. My mom was a registered nurse by profession, but is an incredible musician in her own right and is actually finishing up an album. I'm helping her. My partner and I were mixing down her album.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Wow.
So she just always loved music and the arts, and we're always listening to, WBLS, CD 101.9. She loved Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, Tony Bennett, Ella Fitzgerald. So all of that was in the car on the way to school. So shout out to my mom. I love my mama.
And that was like the beginning of your relationship with music.
That's when my mom was like, okay, this girl, she's into this kind of thing. And I did the church thing. I grew up in church. My first solo was To God Be the Glory at Holy Trinity Baptist Church in Brooklyn, New York on Ralph Avenue.
Listen.
Pastor Burson.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
I'll never forget his big hands. He had these big hands. And he had a back office when he was preparing his sermons, and he would smoke this huge cigar. I loved him.
Yo, he sounded kind of like a G.
He was a G.
He sounded like a G. That Reverend sounded like a G. Dog.
He was cool, man.
Like, you don't want to mess with the Reverend.
You don't want to mess with Reverend Burson.
Okay.
But that's basically it, man. The typical New York church kid. I did LaGuardia High School and all the arts programs, and I did musical theater. And my mom put me in like teen beauty pageants. I did the pageants. Whatever. There's a stage. I was on the stage.
Okay. Right. Which leads me to the new school.
Yeah.
Were you a jazz studies major or?
So before that, when I was at LaGuardia, I was a flute major, and I studied classical flute. Like, you gave me a sheet of music, I'll play that thing down. Okay. College time came, and I decided, I want to be a vocalist. I think that's where I want to focus. Okay. And I auditioned for the new school. I auditioned for Juilliard for classical. At the end of the day, the new school won. I wanted to stay in New York, and I went to the new school. Okay. But I wasn't really like a lot of my other classmates who were serious vocal jazz, like well steeped in it yet. I was still definitely in the other world with the classical flute stuff. And I'll never forget Janet Lawson. She was my first teacher, and she taught me how to write a chart, how to write a lead sheet, how to know your keys, and like really quickly she got me together, and I fell in love with what we call jazz or BAM. I fell in love since then.
You seem to have much more of an individual relationship to the music than a lot of the people I hear who have been taught to sing in a stylized way. They studied this singer, they studied that singer. You seem to have a much more personal relationship with the music.
Ooh, okay. We about to just do a whole album.
You heard it. You got it on camera, right?
We should go just do the album.
Yeah, this is just going to be the record. We were talking earlier, going back and forth about jazz education and what we think about jazz education.
Yeah.
I started as a music major and I pivoted to something else. But you are someone who matriculated. You got your degree. Mm-hmm. You got your jazz degree.
I did.
Tell me about your feeling. What are your feelings about? and you know, I understand that those feelings can be complicated.
Yes.
But some of the things we were talking about, let's touch on that. Your feelings about what jazz education means and is. And
I mean, I feel like I can't go into this without first acknowledging my mentor from the New School, Mr. Reggie Workman, which till this day, he called me yesterday and was giving me books that I need to read. Yes. And I've been graduated to New School.
That's what I'm talking about. It's mentorship. Okay, all right. I'm sorry.
You know,
I asked you the question. I'm not going to interrupt.
No, but we're here because I realized that I was lucky, and that was a special case, and Reggie took a liking to me and believes in me, and so it's still pouring into me to this day.
Yeah.
But really, what is a vocal jazz degree? What are you expecting to accomplish with that?
Yeah.
And I think the idea of, you know, you wanna swing? Do you want to know how to play the upright bass? $30,000 a year, you'll be able to. You can swing too. And I mean, it's giving scam, you know. Yeah. And so many of us bought into this idea: if I do this, if I pay this, I spend this time there, then I'll be great. Yeah. And we're learning that it doesn't really work out that way. As an artist, if anything, school can really kill your joy, kill your creativity. Mm-hmm. And so I unlearned a lot of the stuff that I learned from the New School.
So much of the real world, like practical application of the stuff you learn in school, in music school, has to be modified. So because there, I really wish that there was more of an emphasis on how to maintain mental, physical, musical health on the road and financial health. And financial and business literacy for musicians. Yeah, I feel like that transcends the jazz umbrella. Every musician needs to learn that. Yes. But I also just kind of think that, particularly now, maybe it's changed now. It's been a long time since I was anywhere near a classroom, so maybe it's different. Mm-hmm. But I know that when I was in school for music, no one was talking about what it means to be a self-employed musician. Speak a little bit about balancing all of this stuff and trying to maintain your health in all the ways. Yeah. You know?
I mean, I've always been like interested and curious about like different forms of spirituality, all the religions, all the things. And a few years ago, I embraced Buddhism. Shout out to Herbie Hancock.
Shout out.
I was like, what he doing? And I ended up following that path.
Because Herbie's not aging. He's whatever and you know, Wayne didn't age either. They were onto something.
Even though I was raised Baptist Christian, like Buddhism felt like a beautiful like add-on to it, and it gave me something almost tangible that I can do in moments of stress. And so when I first fell in love with Buddhism, I was chanting every day, and I was really good. Forgive me, I'm not as consistent now, but now it's more medicinal. So if I know I have a crazy gig or I have to do something really high, I'll do my Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then fast forward to getting older and seeing musicians I admire and look up to succumb to like things that happen on the road, like life on the road literally will kill you. Yeah. And we're seeing so many musicians struggling. The lifestyle is so unhealthy. I quickly was able to see that this is something that if I don't get a hold of it, like it's gonna consume me. Yeah. And so I talked to the cat, just like I talked to you a few weeks ago when I saw you at the Blue Note. And I'm like, how do you navigating the travel, the gear, the sleep.
It's easy sometimes, and sometimes it's really not. And I just have, as I get older too, I'm starting to prioritize health over work, which is something that I never did before.
You know, and also though, I think like a lot of cats want to act like everything is cool. They don't want to talk about their struggles. Yeah. And we got to stop that.
Yeah, it's real.
And with my movement, my Make Jazz Trill Again movement, I have like a whole podcast, and like those are the conversations that we're interested in having. Like, what's the real tea? Like, what's going on behind the scenes? Yeah.
I mean, we got options. So you do, I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen you sing and play aside from the social media stuff. Like you usually are like...
Now I'm doing like one song in every set at the piano.
Okay. I mean, I knew you played a little, but
I do my 2 little chords, you know.
That's all you need.
To write the song.
That's all you need. That's all you need is 2 chords. I got 4 fills. I got 4 drum fills.
Come on, 4.
I'm gonna play all 4 of them today, and I turn them around, I mix them up, and that's all I got. A whole career on 4 drum fills.
I was born and raised in the ghetto. I was born and raised in the ghetto. I am a woman of the ghetto. Listen to me, legislator. Dang. Gong gang 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 gong 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 gong. Gong gang gang gong 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 gong. Gong gang gang gong 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 gong. Gong gang gang gong. How do you raise your kids in the ghetto? How do you raise your kids in the ghetto? Feed one child and starve another. Listen to me, legislator. Gong gang gang gong 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 gong. Gong gang gang gong 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 gong. Gong gang gang gong 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 gong. Gong gang gang gong. Break free, black men. I am a woman of the ghetto. Structure, but my ain't blow. I am a woman of the ghetto. Gong gang gang gong 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 gong. Gong gang gang gong gong gong. Gong gang gang gong 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 gong. Gong gang gang gong. My children learn just the same as you. Hey, long as nobody trying to shut the door, they grab a when the night gets deep. They close their eyes when they wanna sleep. Yeah. You sitting up there in your ivory tower, 16. You may have been in one ghetto, but you live there at all. Places like what? Detroit, Fillmore, Chicago.
Talk to me about this word, trill.
Yes.
So,
For me, trill is for the people.
Yeah.
It's for the streets. It's accessible. In the South, they make trill hop. Trill music is like deep bass, just everyday simple. And when I say make jazz trill again, I'm really talking about let's go back to that time, because I've heard about days when jazz music was what they played at the house party, at rent parties, like people were turning up to the jazz.
Right.
Now people are asleep at the jazz concerts.
They are.
I'm tired of it. I want to see.
They are asleep at the jazz concerts. And you can be playing a jazz, and we play because we've been trained. We went to school, we studied, we did our coursework, and we're going out into the world and we're giving it up on stage.
Yeah.
We are giving a pint of blood on stage.
Yes.
Right? And we can look out in the audience and we will see an oil painting of people just kind of sitting there.
Oh, it's the worst.
It's the worst.
It's the worst.
And I fully support this idea of whatever brings people in to the music.
Yeah, and I find that like there's so many different routes to trill, and one way is like taking old standards. Take them songs that maybe Unc and Grandma were listening to and flip them and put a beat that is understandable in the like minds of the present day
Yes.
people.
Yeah.
Like, so when people come to my show, it's like it's not giving traditional jazz concert
Right.
keys. It's not giving that. You can go there and find somewhere else for that.
Yeah.
But I want the people that say, I don't really like jazz.
Right.
Or I never really been to a jazz concert before. Them's the people that I want.
Right. I heard that. That's a really nice. That's a nice place to sort of put a bookmark on this conversation, because it's not the end. We're going to continue with the conversation. It continues.
There's more to be said.
It goes on. But I think that just all the things that you do and all the spaces you occupy, I think that you are living up to your mission statement of making it accessible to people and bringing people in without compromising what you do. I mean, there is skill and craft and clearly a high level of conviction and artistic conviction in what you do. And I think that now more than ever, we need our audience to see that up close, to see that music is made by people. So I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming all the way down here to hang out with me. This is Melanie Charles. She is the bomb, and she's going to have new music soon, and she's going to be doing all the shows soon, and she's just follow her on all the things. She's amazing.
That's a wrap, everyone. Good job.